Hi folks, John with LePan's Foods here. Going to take a little time. I've got a lot of questions about how to use our barbecue seasoning, our barbecue blessings on various types of meat and how meats respond to the stuff. A couple things you want to take into consideration. You know, different cuts of meat have different porous qualities and will absorb flavor more or less. The one that's the toughest is chicken. It takes the longest. When I use barbecue blessings on chicken, I'll usually put it on the night before or the morning that I'm going to cook in the evening and let it sit in the fridge covered with saran wrap all day. I got a couple chicken breasts here. I have a ribeye steak, and again, red meat is going to be the most porous and absorb the flavor. When I grill that, I usually leave that seasoning on for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, while the meat is coming to temperature. You don't want to put a cold steak on the grill. You want to take it out about 30 minutes before you're going to grill it and let it come up. One of Rebecca's favorite things is to do salmon with the barbecue blessing, saying it brings out the sweet and savory elements of the barbecue blessing on the fish meat. So we're going to season that a little bit. And then here, our last piece of meat we have is a bone-in pork chop. And a bone-in pork chop is going to be closer to a steak. Again, it's more porous. It's going to absorb the flavor, so I don't think you need to leave that on as much. While I'm here, one little trick when you're grilling meat, a trick that I learned some time ago, and it served me well as far as how to cook it, is the pad of the hand when you're cooking. A lot of people say I always overcook my meat, or it's dry, or it's this or it's that. When you are cooking a steak particularly, if you take your index finger on the pad of your hand, it's real soft when you push, and that's basically what you look at as a rare. So when you take your tongs and you push the meat, and if it's soft like that, then you know it's still at a rare temperature if you don't want to use a thermometer. The next, if you take your index finger, it's a little firmer. That's going to give you a medium rare type feel, again, taking the tongs. Third one is your ring finger. It's much firmer, and that's going to be your medium well. And if you take your pinky, it's almost really hard. You've cooked all the flavor out. It's going to be well done for those people who don't like any blood whatsoever. Again, if you're a vampire, you like blood, go my way and go rare. So anyway, so that's the kind of way you do it. And again, when you're cooking chicken, you want to make sure that's like medium well to well done. It's nice and firm. You don't want that to be soft at all, because you want to make sure your chicken's cooked well. Salmon's different things like that. You can do that more as like a medium rare, rare to medium rare, depending on how you like it. Pork chops, again, you're going to want to make sure you do that medium well. So it's a nice little trick. Hope it helps you out. I'm going to go ahead and season these up, let you see what they look like afterwards. We'll do some grilling. Okay, it's John. I'm back and getting ready to take and use the barbecue blessings on a couple pieces of meat. This is a rub, so you got to get a little dirty. You're going to rub it into the meat. We're going to start with the chicken because, like I said, it's the least porous of the meats. I would start this and put this on the night before, or worst case scenario, put it on the morning that you're going to cook later that evening. So you're just going to take and open up the seasoning and give it a good little sprinkle. Next piece of meat I'm going to take is our pork chop. This is a bone-in pork chop. Again, this is fairly porous, so you can make that work with a little less time. So again, you're just going to give it a nice generous little coat. And again, this will absorb it a little bit easier. Give it a nice little pat. Roll it over. A little more of the seasoning. And again, just kind of gently do that. And again, you can cover that with saran wrap, leave that out for a few minutes. Like I said, if you're going to throw something on the grill or in a pan, you never want to start it with being straight out of the refrigerator. It's too cold. You won't be able to get an even cooking. Move from there, we'll get into the ribeye. Again, this is a nice, nice cut of meat. It's nice and it's got some of the fat in it for the marbling. It's going to give it great flavor. You can certainly do this on flank steak, tri-tip, etc. It's great on all of those. Again, same concept, not real complicated. Try to make this as easy to use as we can. As a good friend of mine says, the beauty of the barbecue blessings, you can take a $10 piece of meat, turn it into a $50 steak just by using this. So here's an example of how we can do that. Flip it over. And again, you're just going to leave this on and probably for that half hour, 45 minutes, while the meat is coming to room temperature and not being quite as cold, leaving that like that. Cover that with saran wrap, leave it as it is.